Welcome! This is Jay with Explorer Systems. We're going to take a look at school events and sales in Versai. School events are events and activities open to groups that qualify for your educational field trip program as defined by your institution, such as schools, daycares, civic groups, and religious or nonprofit organizations. School events are sold in school sales. In Part 1, we look at setting them up in the Events tab. In Part 2, we look at selling them in the Sales tab. Part 1. Setting up school events. The setup takes place in the Events tab. A school event itself is set up in Events, but we need to first make sure that we have the other setup areas in place. Let's look at venues, which are locations events can be booked in. For school events, your venues might be an exhibit gallery, an activity space, a classroom, or a theater. If your venue is not in the list, we need to create a new one. Click New, enter a short code, type a name, and the capacity of the location. If it applies to your institution, set the ticket stub or web venue group. In ticket packages, a new single ticket type is automatically created for the new venue. You'll only need to come to this area if you need to create a combo ticket package or update the sales types. Next, we'll check categories. Categories are the types of fees you charge, usually based on who you are admitting. For field trips, you might use student and chaperone, or you might reuse adult and child, for instance. It can be better to reuse what you have in order to make reports more useful, but don't force it if it doesn't make sense. To create a new one, click New, enter a short code, and name. Select the type of transactions that this category can be used in. Make sure you at least check school sales. If the category represents a new person walking through the door, check Count Attendance. If it represents an inanimate object like a package or a person whose attendance was already counted for the day, leave the box empty so your attendance numbers are accurate and not inflated. You can also assign a category group for reporting. If your institution uses kiosks or a web storefront, check the appropriate boxes. Now we can set up the event itself. The events you need to enter depend on what your institution offers as a program. Some museums only record the structured sections of field trip visits, or just the parts they charge for. Other places may record every part of a visit, such as free lunch reservations, free time and exhibits between other activities, or when groups depart. So not only do the reservation confirmation letters serve as easy, detailed itineraries for your groups, but also so staff coordination is easy on visit days. On the right, make sure School is selected, and then click New. Fill in the code and name. Choose a default venue from the list. Set a duration and the capacity, which is the max number of people who can participate at once. If it applies to your institution, set the stub information. Set the date range that this event can be booked for. Set the department, course type, and general ledger account. You can also restrict grade levels. Then you can limit which days of the week the event can be scheduled for, date range the event can't be scheduled or certain days not allowed, and the specific times it is available to be scheduled at. Under Event Pricing, enter fees next to applicable categories. If a category is free, enter 0, otherwise it won't display in the list in sales. If there is one fee for the entire group regardless of how many people, choose Per Group or Class. If the price is based on the quantity of people, choose Per Person. Set Timed Event to Yes, unless the event doesn't have a specific start time. If you only allow one school group to do this activity or event at a time, don't click Multiple Groups Permitted, leave it blank. If sales tax applies, check Taxable. If the event records attendance of people coming through the door for the first time that day, check Count Attendance. You can also add notes at the bottom. Depending on how your site does reservations, you can pre-schedule performances now in events, or you can schedule performances in sales as you take reservations. Performances are individual occurrences of timed events, like different show times of a movie. Once you're done, we'll save and exit. In Part 2, we'll go over how to book the events that we just created to a reservation. For a copy of this information and step-by-step procedure with more detail, refer to the built-in user manual. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for when we upload additional videos. And remember, we're here to help. You can reach the Explorer Systems support team on the support forum of the Versai website, as well as via email and phone.